want your perfect mind, your perfect.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Pia. If you're coming from my Instagram, thank you and hi. So today I'm going to be doing an Instagram Q&A. I asked you guys questions and I am just gonna answer a few of them. So I have my phone. Actually, a little less than a year ago, I decided to start blogging and now I'm able to do it full time. So obviously I haven't grown in the capacity, like I want to keep growing. I don't feel like I have all the answers. I just feel like I need to preface it with that. I feel like I'm still learning and trying to get in the habit of everything. So the growth that I have made, you know, is something that I obviously am very proud of, but it's not anything like super crazy, like, because I am still a smaller content creator, influencer, blogger, whatever you want to call it. I feel like I can give you guys insight on what I've learned. Do you think it's necessary to have a really nice camera and an infinite closet to start? No, all my photos are shot on literally this phone that I'm holding right now. So no, you don't have to have a really nice camera. I didn't invest in a camera for photos. The only reason I invested in the camera that obviously I'm filming on right now is for the purpose of YouTube. So I feel like if you're just doing like Instagram and whatever else, I don't think you have to have a nice camera. Just use your phone. And then as far as an infinite closet, I don't think you have to have that either. I mean, my closet has definitely grown since starting this, but I feel like you just have to be able to style your pieces well and cohesively, and whatever that means to you. What's the hardest part about blogging? So for me, I think the hardest part about blogging is, especially if you're doing it full time as like a job, meaning you have to make money off of it. I think one of the hardest parts is finding a time that is appropriate to start monetizing. Also having that balance of being able to know that you still have to do a lot of stuff for free. So I think that is, I don't know if I really answered that well, but I think one of the hardest parts is not knowing how much you're necessarily going to make at the end of each month, with the exception of like year-long collaborations and things like that. I feel like it's kind of a give and take. Do you work in accounting at all, or just the blog / IG? So I was in accounting at my job to do this full time. I'm consistent with posting, but still can't get over this plateau and a bigger following. Advice. Okay, so one of the things I've always said is to post consistently. I feel like for myself, that's how I found the most growth. I feel like a lot of it also has to do, like realistically speaking, like you have to have good content. You have to be able to offer people something that they'll want to come back to, whether it's really amazingly styled outfits or a really nice curated feed or whatever your aesthetic is. I feel like at the end of the day, make it your own, make it yours, of course, but it has to look good. I don't know if that's, I'm not saying that her feed doesn't look good. I actually don't even know what it looks like right now because I can't see it, but you know, sometimes not everything is for everyone, but in the same turn, if you want something bad enough, I absolutely believe that you can do it, you can make it, you can whatever. Just keep going. Obviously don't give up. Make sure your content is good. I know that kind of sounds like a little bit like, well, obviously I'm going to post good content, but there's a lot of people who don't, and they expect to get X, Y, and Z, and it's like, come on, like, let's be a little bit realistic with what, not necessarily copying bigger influencers, but like gathering inspiration and kind of seeing like what works for them, as far as like, are their photos clear? Are their backgrounds pretty? Are their outfits well put together? You know, just like, there's a lot of things to factor into that. If what you're doing right now isn't working for you, maybe try something different. What camera do you use to take pictures, and who takes them? So like I said before, I use my iPhone to take all my photos, and right now, because my sister isn't in school, she's the one taking all my photos. What was I saying? Oh, what was the question? So my sister takes all my photos right now because she's on summer break and I'm paying her. I find that if you bribe people, you'll get better quality out of them, better quality content out of them. Could you make a list of things that you should do to cut the Explore page? I'm assuming you mean what you should do to get on the Explore page. I honestly don't know. it's a combination of things. I think if you are if you're tagging the right brands, if your photo gets a high enough reach, if you're utilizing the right hashtags, obviously if your photo looks good. I think it's just a culmination of things. I don't necessarily know what the formula is, especially with Instagram's algorithm constantly changing. I'm not sure. I honestly don't even know when I'm on the Explore page. I only know if someone DMs me and tells me. I've never actually seen myself on there. So how did it start? Like, when did you start getting more and more followers? So I want to say that when I started posting photos on Instagram, like, I made the conscious decision to be like, okay, I'm going to start posting every day. I had probably less than 1,000 followers. I know that for sure. I don't know the exact number, but I know I had a very, very, very minuscule amount of followers, and a lot of them were people that I went to college with, or that I went to school with from my hometown. So that in and of itself is a little bit nerve-wracking, because these people aren't necessarily following you to see what your outfits look like. But I started getting more followers the more I posted. That was definitely just, the more consistent I was with posting, the more brands I was tagging in each post. Obviously, everyone knows which brands are kind of trending right now, whether it be Nasty Gal or Princess Polly or whatever else, whatever the stores are. Those are the ones that you kind of want to be tagging, especially in the beginning, because the chances of them reposting you are a little bit higher, especially if the quality of your content looks good. So that's just something to keep in mind. What made you finally quit your job and pursue this full time? Well, I feel like I kind of just went into accounting because it was safe, I was good at it. And then my major was finance actually, but when I graduated college, I kind of just got this job on the spot. It was very, like, honestly an act of God, because I needed a job, and this one just happened to like fall on my lap basically. But I've always known that, like, accounting wasn't for me. Like, since I was legit probably 10 years old, I would take my iPad and pretend to film YouTube videos, whether it be makeup or hair or fashion. Like, I've just always been into this. So what made me pursue this full time is when I started making more money off of this than I was at my actual job. How do you feel about the accounts catching you / passing you by buying followers? I don't know. I don't necessarily think I feel any type of way about it. I mean, there's obviously a lot of girls on here that buy their followers, guys and girls that buy their followers. That's not a secret to anyone, and you can easily tell. You can tell if you're buying your likes, you can tell if you're buying your followers, and at the end of the day, brands are smart enough to know that if someone has 30,000 followers but gets 200 likes on their photos, probably not real. If you have 1 million followers and you're getting, like, okay, 4,000 likes because you bought your likes, or however many followers you have, and thousands of followers, but then you have like 2 comments and then the rest of them are like bots. And if I know this, brands know this, everyone knows this, so I don't necessarily mind it. Following count, I feel like, isn't as lucrative anyways if they're not real, so I don't really mind it. Do you plan on returning to the corporate world or sticking with blogging? I will stick to blogging for as long as I possibly can. I will literally do anything I need to do, obviously within reason, to be successful in this industry before I have to go back to the corporate world, before I have to go back to accounting, before I have to go back to finance. I will. Can you work with the same brand more than once? Of course you can. I feel like once you start building relationships with a brand, they'll be more inclined to do long-term collaborations with you, whether that's 6 months, whether that's a year. And I feel like when you work with the same brand more than once, you kind of get a little bit more of a feel of, okay, do I really want to work with them for a long time? Maybe you don't, maybe you do, but yeah, it's just building a relationship with them. What's your favorite part about being a full-time blogger, social media influencer? One, I work for myself. I love being able to work for myself. I feel like if I want to work from my bed one day, I can. If I want to work from the office, I can. If I want to dedicate a whole day to filming like I'm doing right now, I can. So that's definitely my favorite part. My other favorite part, and probably the part that makes me the most like emotional, because I could literally cry talking about it, is this is what I'm passionate about. I feel like I've wanted to do this since I was little, and I just never had like I don't know why I'm getting emotional about it. It's so I feel like I've wanted to do this since I was little, so being able to like do it now and like continue to grow and continue to like make friends on this platform is really cool. Hard to afford buying clothes and trips. How are you able to do it? Are you gifted a lot of the stuff, or did you save for a while? Love how real you are with everyone. Thank you. So a lot of it, okay, trips, I use miles. If you don't already have a credit card, highly recommend getting one and building up your miles. Only get a credit card though, I will preface it with this. Only get a credit card if you are going to pay it at the end of every month. I actually pay my credit card off every 2 weeks just because it drives me crazy if my balance isn't zero. But yeah, save up those miles, and that's what I use typically for airfare. And then hotels, I usually do it with friends, so you guys like split, do Airbnbs, whatever you need to do. If you have friends in a different country, state, whatever, stay with them. As far as clothes, now I'm gifted, I want to say 80% of my clothes, and the only reason I don't shop as much as I used to is because I have so many clothes that I'm gifted. But when I first started out, I was buying everything. Like, this was up until recently. I was buying everything, and I feel like a lot of the stores that are trending right now, they are really reasonably priced. One of the things that I am a big proponent of is I will not spend a lot of money on clothes. I spend a lot of money on my accessories, whether it be bags, whether it be jewelry, shoes, mainly shoes and handbags. I spend a lot of money on. I will invest in those items, but otherwise I would just go out and like Nasty Gal. Nasty Gal is always doing 80% off sales, 60% off sales. Princess Polly, Lulu's, Boohoo, Misguided, Pretty Little Thing. All those places, yeah, they're fast fashion, but they have a lot of really trendy pieces. A lot of what I'm wearing right now is from Vichy Dolls, and then this is from Shop LA. But point being, you can buy really nice clothes, really on-trend clothes, and not spend a lot of money. Okay, or how do you find time to balance your life and your brand? So good at both. Thank you. One of the hardest things for me to do is to balance out the two, because I think the two, especially in this industry, kind of collide a lot. And I don't really know if I do have a balance. I feel like I love what I'm doing so much, and I mean that from with every part of me. Like, I love this so much that sometimes, like, actually most of the time, it's more fun for me to like send out emails, reaching out to brands, or picking out outfits or shooting than it is to do anything else. So I love downtime. I always spend time with my friends, with my family. So I feel like it's showing that you're getting everything you need to get done, and then after that you choose whether or not you want to spend time with X, Y, and Z, or you want to do a little extra. I feel like just knowing, listening to yourself, listening to what feels good, listening to, you know, also being considerate of the people around you. So being considerate of your family. I like spending a lot of time with my sister and obviously my other family members, but I also like spending a lot of time with my friends. You guys will see on my Instagram stories, if you follow me, that I spend a lot of time with my friends. And I feel like the fun part about doing this job is you can do both at the same time. You know, I can easily text any of my friends and be like, hey, want to do a shoot day? But then after, we'll go get rosé and just hang out and talk. Can you give us tips on how to reach out to brands and how often you do it? I have like specific days where I reach out to brands, typically Mondays, but I mean, whatever, you want to do it during the week. Whatever suits your schedule. I start off by introducing myself. I give them a brief kind of idea of a brief synopsis of my style, my aesthetic, what I can offer them, and then I always attach my media kit. So that's what I do as far as reaching out to brands. Did you ever reach out to brands yourself? If so, how do you go about emails? So yeah, like I said, introduce yourself, give them a brief synopsis of who you are, what it is you're trying to do, and then what it is you can offer them. and then include your media kit. If you have a rate card, do that as well. Just be aware that if you start charging rates, like it's obviously very dependent on your engagement, you'll hear a lot more no's than you will yes. How do you organize your feed? So my feed layout is in threes. I always try to do 3 outfit photos. I do a faraway shot, like this is how the order of how I shoot. I do faraway shots, close-up shots, and then like when I say close-up, I mean waist up, and then I'll do a detail shot. So whatever it is, my purse, my jewelry, my whatever, my shoes. Sometimes that gets a little bit stagnant though, and if I feel like I'm getting bored doing that, I'll start posting flat lays or filler photos. What brand have you been most excited to work with? Laura Mercier. I love Laura Mercier so much. Entering the beauty space is completely different from the fashion side of things. So Laura Mercier was really a big deal for me, and it was a big deal because I've used that brand since I was 12 years old. And like, how do you find the best hashtags to use, and how do you make money off of this? So for hashtags, how I find the hashtags that I use is I just literally go on Google and I just look up trending hashtags. Simple, easy, anyone can do that. And then I don't make money off of hashtags. Like, I use hashtags for every photo and I don't make money off of that. Sometimes in collaborations, it's a stipulation on your contract that you have to use specific hashtags, but that's not what's making me money. Okay, so, and I think that is it for the Instagram questions. I definitely missed a few, but this video is already so long. If you have any more, I'll do another one of these. If you guys liked it, just let me know in the comments, or just DM me on Instagram. I love talking to you guys. That is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you don't already follow me on Instagram, my handle is @PiaShah_. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like my YouTube videos, and let me know what you want to see next. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Just want your perfect mind, your perfect